won the game?
We got a shutout. We didn't concede a goal, so that was an exciting game for us. The team has continued to impress us as a staff. They came out there, stuck to the game plan. They had the right mentality, and we played some real good football. And then we also had to dig down deep there toward the end of the second half, and that's what it takes. So a lot of credit to all the players, the staff, everyone involved, because we've been plugging away, and we won our first series, right? So that's twice against Angel City. That's something we discussed at the beginning of the week, and now we're going to ask of consistency, because we know we can put performances like this together, and let's go do another one now. So we're right back in the mix of things, and it's exciting.
All right, I got a couple questions that were sent to me from a couple of individuals who had to leave a little bit early. Coach talked about the importance of winning this Classico, this rivalry game at home, and the contributions of specifically Katelyn Rowland in this match tonight.
So first of all, yes, winning the Classico feels really good, but most important thing is we got the 3 points and we're in the playoffs hunt. That's what we set ourselves to do, and Katelyn obviously has had an excellent season. She's just such a presence in the air, does a really good job coming out, and we knew Angel City is quite dangerous on crosses. They scored quite a few of the goals in set pieces, and she just commands that box very well. Had a great performance all the way around, so that's what we expect from Katelyn and all of our players, and it's nice when it comes together.
And then one other question, asking about Dana getting the start tonight and her performance, and just how she's kind of growing after you mentioned she picked up a bit of an injury and she hadn't been playing in many minutes. Just talk about her performance today.
Yeah, well, I have to give Dana a lot of credit, because it's obviously difficult for players when they don't start and they don't sometimes get opportunities, but she came back from an injury and just did everything she could to get healthy and strong, and had the right mindset for the last 3 weeks of practice, and has excelled, and she earned a spot. So it makes my job very difficult, because it's not only her, it's quite a few of the players that are competing for a starting spot, and that's exactly what we want to see. But credit to Dana for having an outstanding game today. But most importantly, just the way she carried herself, and I told her she's just a true professional, because that's exactly what the coaching staff wanted to see.
Questions in the room? Michael, go ahead.
All right, Coach, of course a win is a win, but when you get a clean sheet like this, close game, and you've had a lot of close games, do you prefer a defensive game like this, or would you prefer more goals and win that way, more offensively?
Well, as long as it's a win, I don't care how it comes, but actually, I prefer goals. You know, that's the type of football we want to play. And today we had some chances. We could have had a few more. But it's more entertaining for the fans, right? If I'm watching the game as just a fan for the enjoyment of it, I want to see a 5-4 game. Why not? But as a coach, it can be a little bit tough on the heart, but I don't mind that. So a win's a win. And but I will have to say, I mean, all joking aside, having a shutout just says a lot about your team, because the way we started off the season and now how we're progressing, and we're having the right mindset. We closed out a game, which is really important for us, against an excellent team that has just so much pace, and they're very dangerous. So this shutout feels very special, and I think it's going to help us moving forward.
So, Coach, from the eye test, it looked like Dana and Kiki were just kind of controlling the game from that defensive midfielder position the whole time. But when you were pressing last week and a little less press this week, but still making them change their game plan, how much of today's game fulfills the promise that what we saw last week?
Oh, actually, it does quite a bit, because in that first half, we just chose the right times to press. And when we pressed, we made it very difficult for them. From the majority of that first half, we were in their half. Okay, they couldn't get out, but it was just that mentality of knowing when to press and who to press, because sometimes we press with our 9 and our 10, which is our center forward, and our attacking mid. Sometimes it's with the 7 and 11, our 2 white forwards, and the team's really starting to read the game, because I always tell them it's not just one way of doing things. It's all about understanding the game, understanding situations, what the team gives you, and then now they're really starting to think it through and not having to be told what to do. And so it carried over from last game, and it shows that we're moving in the right direction.
Sarah?
Hey, Coach. How you doing? Sarah from SB Nation. Just kind of want to follow up on the rivalry question that was asked before. Obviously, you spent a lot of time in the Bay Area. We heard the LA chants in the stands, and for any Bay Area native, I'm sure that was like music to the ears or to the heart. Just curious, how did it make you feel? Did it have an impression on you? And do you see this as a rivalry, and do you see it kind of growing into one of those historic Giants-Dodgers rivalries?
Well, I hope so. Actually, I hope it grows into one of those rivalries. And honestly, I didn't feel that way necessarily. We are just concentrating on ourselves, trying to get some points, trying to make sure we get better regardless of who it is. But yes, when you think about it, I mean, if I go back to playing football in my life, every time you play a SoCal team, it's NorCal versus SoCal, right? So you take a little extra pride. And I did tell the team, it's like we should be pissed off today. Let's get after it. It's a SoCal team, and let's make sure we show them that we're here to play and get stuck in the first 5-10 minutes. And I think that also helped us out. We came with that mindset. We weren't going to give them any time on the ball, and we made it difficult. But that's just, we had a little extra fire and desire today, and that had a huge impact in the game.
Thanks.
Harold Kutman with the San Jose Mercury News. Even though the scoreline was the same as the first time we played the 1-0, it seems like the first game they had maybe 21 shots and a bunch of shots on goal. Do you feel like this game
Completely different.
Yeah, was more maybe satisfying defensively because you kind of earned the shot?
Absolutely. I mean, first time around, I said we were very fortunate. The soccer gods were with us, and that's how football goes. I think we've been on the wrong end several times this year, but today was a very different performance because we came out and controlled the first half, and in the second half, we also had very good chances. So, it just shows how much we've improved, and two different games, completely different games.
Coach, your defense has kind of turned to a strength for the team compared to the beginning of the season. Today you brought in a couple of players who had played a little bit or haven't had a chance to play a little. How difficult is that? I mean, they played really well, but then you brought in some of your players that are kind of push up the game. Like, how difficult is it to get all those defenders time together to play out there, even if they're playing really well?
It's very challenging. It's one of the most challenging things we have to do as a coach. We have 26 excellent players, right? They could all play and start. And the fact that we're trying to find the right minutes and also the right chemistry and who plays well with each other. But what I give credit to the team is we used some different players today. They weren't maybe 90 minutes fit because they haven't had those opportunities, but that's how we're going to help them build minutes. And at the same time, the players that have been playing, they came in as substitutes, and they had an impact in the game, right? So they played for the team, and that's what's most important. But yes, extremely challenging, not only the backs, but midfielders, forwards, because we're very deep. And I wish I could play all of them, but we can't. And it's just having the right mindset and playing as a group.
Hey, Coach, Bucky College, Baylor Sports Wrap. It's kind of piggyback on that question there. You mentioned on Wednesday that you were going to make changes to this lineup, and you replaced half your back line with Jen and Savvy. And so what went into that decision to put them two in the starting 11, and how do you feel that they did in their performance that were out there playing?
I thought they did very well. So Jen is actually one of our best playmaking center backs and actually players on the team. She's very good on the ball, and we knew we needed her to play balls into the midfield, play balls in behind the defense. And then Savvy's pace, and she's one of the best 1v1 defenders. We also wanted to give Caprice a rest. She played 2 90-minute games against Chicago, then our last game. And that's a conversation I had with her. She's been stellar for us. We need her healthy through the playoffs. So that's one of the things as a coach, you have to manage those minutes as well. And is there a second part to that?
Well, I was talking more about Jen. Is this something that when you guys signed her, that this is exactly what you were expecting to get out of her when she was able to get the fit and get into the lineup like that?
So it goes to she's a footballer. And what I mean by that is she's very comfortable on the ball. She's looking to play out of the back. She can play to the right, to the left, into the midfield. She can play balls in behind. She reads the game really well, and she's an aerial presence, right? Now, what was difficult is the speed of this league. And I remember the first games that she played in Washington, she's like, I knew this was a transitional league and a lot of speed, but I had no idea until I was finally in it, right? And that takes time. And if we're not solid defensively and we've got players coming at us all the time, doesn't necessarily suit her strength. But now that we've become a team that controls most games, I mean, even the games that we've lost, for the most part, we'll outpossess teams, and we feel a lot more comfortable in our defending. So now there's a better spot and an opportunity for her. And she had an excellent game, and I think that's a big reason why we won, because we were able to control the tempo, and she was a big part of it.
We do have one question online, so I'd like to let this person ask a question. Go ahead. Question online. Go ahead. Your mic's on. Go for it.
¿Qué tal, Albertin?
Hola, ¿cómo estás?
Bien, bien. Una pregunta. ¿La decisión de no jugar a Scarlett el día de hoy fue una decisión por lesión, táctica? Y en realidad, ¿cómo ves el desarrollo de ella en tu equipo hasta el momento en la temporada?
Fue una táctica, porque también ella corre muy duro, ¿verdad? Y defiende para nosotros, pero también tenemos otros jugadores que juegan bien así y queríamos darle unos minutos. Tess ha estado jugando muy bien para nosotros en el medio, pero también la quisimos hoy jugar afuera, porque Angel City no estaba esperando eso. Pero no, Scarlett es igual. Tenemos delantera de Rachel Hill y Rudy y C, César, que es una jugadora muy buena, pero no ha jugado tan bien. Y es parte del fútbol, ¿verdad? Todo el mundo tiene que jugar un poquito y ella no jugó hoy.
All right, do we have any last questions? Anyone want to wrap us up?
Emily reached 15,000 minutes. What does it mean to have someone with her kind of experience?
15. Well, congratulations to Emily, first of all. And she's an Iron Woman. I mean, it's incredible that, when you look at her, she's not the most physically, just imposing player. And I just joke around with our staff. I'm like, how does she get it done? Every single game. She chases people down. She wins head balls. She wins tackles. I mean, she's such a fierce competitor. And that's why she's gotten 15 minutes, because she just wills herself to be the best out there, to be a competitor. So it makes perfect sense. I'm a huge fan.
All right. We're wrapped there with Coach. Thank you so much, by the way.
Thanks, everyone.
Tess, this is for you. With your goal and winning tonight's game, what do you think about the perseverance of your team tonight in this match, and what do you think worked well for the group?
Yeah, I mean, I think I spoke about in the post-game interview, resiliency was huge for us, and I just think a theme the whole season. We've had a lot of ups and downs on and off the field, and I think us showing up today and just competing as a unit was a huge win, and obviously getting the win was also huge.
Question? Michael, you want to start us off?
All right. So Katelyn, clean sheet, big save at the 15-minute mark, but you had to keep that shutout all the way with the extra time, 87 more minutes. So how did you persevere that way? And then how would you describe your goal?
Yeah, I think the past couple of games, they've been a little bit unfortunate for us. I think at Wrigley, obviously we got the result, but we were upset that we let one in really late at the end. And then I feel against Utah last week, really good, really strong first half, and then we let off in the second half, and that ultimately led to us losing. So to get a full 90 minutes defensively, offensively, just to a complete performance feels really good, and that falls right into your question of the clean sheet. It was just 90 minutes of 11 people on the field defending together. So I'm really proud of that.
Yeah, I echo that. And then your second question, the goal. I think Emily Mangas is huge for us in second phases on corner kicks. She already has an assist. She could have several more. And so, I mean, I think that was just a brilliant play by her. She went end line, back line collapse, and just her vision to look for the cutback pass and just an easy clinical finish for me. We work on that 100 times a week, so.
Go ahead.
Yeah, for both of you guys, I mean, Katelyn, you mentioned just a 90-minute effort. Does this feel closer to what you guys want the complete product to be night in, night out? Is this a good example of you guys at your best?
Yeah. I mean, I think you've seen pieces of who we can be and how we can perform throughout this season, and we've talked about we don't ever want to throw out we're an expansion team, a new team, but the reality of it is we are, and so it takes a little bit of time to gain chemistry and kind of gain our style of playing, who we want to, and I think you've seen pieces of it all year, and I think finally the consistency is kind of leveling out, and it's just really cool to see because we see it day in and day out in training, but just sometimes in games it comes in through pieces, but yeah, long story short, yeah, I think so.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Katelyn, first of all, was that one of the most difficult saves you had to make on that point-blank chance? You know you were out of position, but you came through and you were able to gobble it up.
Yeah, it happens quick. This league, I think people underestimate the speed of play in this league, so it definitely happened quick for sure. But credit to my teammates and my coaches, because in training we see a lot of those saves. So I'm not saying it was easy or anything like that, but I felt well prepared for it, and I got a little bit of a lucky bounce.
And And then Tess, real quick, what does this win do to you? Does it help erase the bad taste of last week's loss?
I mean, winning's great. We love winning. We're here to win. So I think, our mindset is we want to learn from every game and then move on, losses and wins. So, we're not just all sunshine and rainbows. There's definitely a lot of things to learn from today's game. But I think in terms of mentality and how we're feeling confidence-wise, yeah, last game's in the past. Today we got to win and we feel good and we're ready for Louisville next week.
Brian G. Santa Cruz voice. So Katelyn, after the save at 15, it felt like, from our vantage point up the top, I didn't see another uncontested shot the rest of the game.
Yeah.
Everybody in front of you looked like they rallied to the fact that there's nothing they're going to get easy the rest of the game. And then for you, Tess, it's felt like the last few games, that goal to get over has been inevitable. How does it feel to get that one and stop having to be like, okay, gosh, now that didn't work. How does it feel to actually get there?
Yeah, I mean, to your point, that was literally the only uncontested shot, and I think that just speaks volumes of the team defensively, the tenacity, the just focus, determination, mentality across the board defensively. I think it's been so good, and I'm really, really, really just happy that we finally got a shutout because the work's been put in and day out. So.
Yeah, and then also go on the second question. Yeah, I think that it's always frustrating. We've had our last, I'd say, 2 or 3 games. We could have been up 5-0 at different points, and I think that's been like an elephant in the room for us. Our finishing needs to be better, and I think we had several today that were so close, and like sometimes finishing is a little bit about luck sometimes too. So I think today I was happy that we got one of those in, and so yeah.
And just a quick follow-up here. You guys have been places in the league, other places this season, and this isn't the first time around for you. Is this becoming the hardest road stadium in the league?
Absolutely.
Our fans are awesome.
Yeah.
We can't thank them enough.
Everyone who comes here after the game says that was a damn hard environment to play in. So
credit to our fans,
yeah.
for sure.
Oh yeah. We love our fans.
Love.
Doug and then Liliana after that.
Building off that a little bit, there was a big contingent of visitors, fans today. How was that today to have like that huge group of Danger City fans there, and what do you think that kind of added to the environment?
Yeah, I mean, this is probably the first game that there was actually an away team section, and I think we knew that was going to happen. Obviously, they're semi-local, as local as you can get in this league. I didn't hear them. I still heard our fans. I saw them. I knew they'd be there because some of my old teammates on LA, pointed them out and told me. But, yeah, I mean, our 15,000 fans totally dominated them. So, yeah.
I agree.
Katelyn, from where you're standing on the pitch, what have you seen over the past few games that you've gotten to start? And what is it that maybe was not clicking yet? Not just like the defensive line right in front of you, but in the rest of the team that is maybe now finally coming to place and just giving you the results you want.
Yeah, that's a great question. I like I said before, I think people underestimate time. It does take time to build chemistry, to build style of play, to build consistency, and we're all incredible footballers. You look at our roster and there's talent, but it takes time to mold together and mesh together, and we've been trucking along. I don't know if that's the right word. We've been pushing along day in and day out, and I think, like I said, we both said we're finally. I don't think tonight was a perfect performance by any means, but it was our best complete performance, and I think we're being patient on the ball. We're picking and choosing moments. When we go. When we're pressed, we're pressing, and I just think little things where maybe you've seen pieces for finally. Tonight was hands down our best performance and our most complete performance, and I think we're just it's about time for us because it's been a long time coming.
Any other questions? All right, great.